City of Dream. This RM800 million project in Tanjung Pinang was launched by Aiman Sendia Berhad in the first quarter of 2016. Aiman is jointly owned by public list Aiman Berhad, which is 60% stake, and consortium Zenith BUCG Sendian Berhad, which is 40% stake. Zion Properties is the exclusive property agent for this City of Dreams project. Drawing on its island location, the tower features the concept of fluidity. The glasswork on the facade are angled external panels, which give the impression of flowing water. The design also evokes the multifaceted and polished nature of a diamond, with these qualities apparent on the facade and in the interior finishing. The piling that are used in this project is driven pile foundation and ball pile foundation. The type of pile driving hammers used for this installation of driven piles is hydraulic hammer, air hammer, diesel hammer, and vibratory hammer. And the types of construction methods of the ball pile is dry ball pile construction, wet ball pile construction, and case ball pile construction, which is temporary casings and permanent casings. For the drilling tools used for the construction of ball pile is auger, bucket, rock auger, and core barrel. Next is the process of installation of the precast concrete pile. First, marking the pile reference point, which is offset point, then positioning the precast concrete pile to the offset point. Next, hoisting the pointed precast concrete pile by piling the driving rig and aligning the pointed precast concrete pile to the setting out point. And then adjusting the pointing precast concrete pile to the accurate position. Then checking the verticality in both directions of the pipe before driving the pipe. And then the pipe is driven into the soil with an impact pipe driven hammer, which is a hydraulic drop hammer. Special timber packing or a synthetic cushion block lends adequate protection to the pipe head during driving. Lastly, with control of driving achieved by measuring the set, the pile is driven into the resistive soil layer to a depth equal to 1 time the pile diameter. Next is the process of the construction of bore piles. First, drilling phase. Using the bore piling machine, a vertical hole is first drilled into the ground to begin construction. The equipment is equipped with grabs, buckets, and drilling instruments that aid in removing rocks and soil while drilling. Next, insert the reinforcement cage. With the aid of service cranes, which must be capable, the process of inserting steel reinforcement cages is carried out to prevent the concrete covers designed from deforming during the lowering of the reinforcing cage. Spacers, either made of plastic or concrete, must be used. Next is casting the concrete. After the reinforcing cage has been successfully implanted in its intended location, the stage involves adding concrete to the borehole. A series of rather thin steel pipes is what this process. These steel pipes must be put in the shaft center and have a minimum diameter of 250 mm. At the very top of the string, a factory-grade funnel is attached. The funnel is then filled with a stream of concrete. The concrete starts to fill the borehole once it reaches the pit. Once the level of concrete reaches the elevation necessary for the design and construction of the specific boring pipe, the flow of concrete is stopped and it descends the funnel. And the last one is curing. After the required amount of time has passed for the concrete to cure, excavation and mining are carried out around the perimeter of the foundation pile mass. The top of the pipe is kept either with a footing or a pipe cap near the ground level so that the construction above can be constructed. The pipe head are cut and then leaving only the reinforcement bar.
Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Muhammad Aiman ZUKI and I will talk about superstructure. The type of frame structure used in this building is brace frame structure. Brace frame structure is a structural system commonly used in building construction to resist lateral loads such as wind and seismic forces. It consists of a series of vertical and diagonal members called braces that are connected to the beams and columns of the building. Brace frame structure offers several advantages. They provide excellent resistance to lateral loads, making them suitable for regions prone to earthquake or high winds. They also allow for open and flexible floor plans since the braces can be concealed within walls, minimizing their impact on interior spaces. Additionally, they are relatively cost-effective compared to other structural systems. Next, we will talk about in situ concrete. There are 6 processes to make concrete. First is preparing. Clean the area first. This includes removing soil, grass, trees, old concrete, and anything else in the area. After cleaning the area, put a granular base to identify the necessary measurements for concrete. Next, forming. Second, organize tangible shapes. It shapes and supports concrete or other construction materials during testing and hardening. Wood, steel, aluminium, or plastic formwork holds elements in place until the concrete hardens and gains strength. Wooden or aluminium pillars hold forms around the concrete area. The dowels and molds are designed to be easily removed when the concrete sets. After that, pouring placement. Placing concrete into the mold. This includes pouring liquid concrete into the prepared container to produce the desired structure. This procedure uses a mixed concrete truck and concrete pump. Next, pre-finish. Steps are taken to level the concrete surface so that the cured concrete has the same shape. These pre-finish procedures make concrete firm, smooth, and homogeneous. This procedure can strengthen and beautify concrete. After that, finish. Selecting the finishing type continues the procedure. Stamp, texture, and smooth trowel finishes are available. The last step is curing. The most crucial step, it helps the concrete set evenly and reduces cracking and discoloration. The first 48 hours are crucial to the 28-day recovery phase. Next, formwork. Timber is the most commonly used material in construction for use in formwork. Basically, wooden formwork is used to build foundations, columns, and beams. Using timber formwork certainly has advantages such as easier to determine the size needed, lighter, has good thermal resistance, easy to work on, and easy to disassemble. The procedure are propping and centering. Additionally, brick pillars joined together with mortar can be used as supports. If wood is utilized, it must be placed on the brick pillar in mortar or a wooden sole that has been laid on the ground. It also has a 0.1 meter square surface area and a 40 mm thickness to enable precise adjustment before pouring the concrete and to make support removal easier. Thereafter, the double wedge is placed between the single plate and the wooden support. Next, shuttering. It is used to shape and support concrete when placing. Shuttering can be made of wooden planks or panels with wood as a frame. The thing that must be considered at this stage is to pay attention to the joints because if there are cavities, there will be leaks. After that, provision of chamber. The use of chamber or upward arcs on horizontal structure members as a counterweight to deflection effects the minimized reflection in concrete structures. Provision of the desired chamber must be made when installing the formwork. Chamber for slabs and beams can be adopted with a height of 4 mm per meter of span. Clean and treatment. Before placing the concrete, the formwork must be cleaned of all rubbish, especially shavings and sawdust, to prevent or dry shuttering, the possibility of absorbing water from the concrete which can cause bending, swelling, and distortion of the wood, besides causing honeycomb defects in the concrete by wetting it with water. Next, reinforcement bar. Reinforcement bar is reinforcement used in concrete structures. The addition of this reinforcement produces reinforced concrete. Reinforcing bars make concrete many times more difficult to break. Tensile strength is ensured by corrosion-resistant reinforcement. When building concrete structures, rebar provides much stronger support than steel cable, fiberglass rebar, and many other products because it inherently provides structural strength. The procedure are: each installation procedure must be supervised by the contractor's field technician. Identify the size and number of rings and bones needed based on the drawings. Rebars must be assembled away from the stockyard to allow them to be lifted by cranes, and rebar must be securely fastened with wires. Column rods must be tied before the crane is lifted and then placed in a predetermined place. Next, column. Column is part of the structure which serves to distribute the load to the foundation and is oriented vertically. Columns are used in construction to support trusses, building frames. Columns also function to help support the weight of the roof. The amount of axial load is something that must be considered in determining column size, such as vertical forces and lateral forces. There are 4 steps in making column. The first one is column layout. This process includes the process of determining the location and size to the support and structure and ensure that the load distribution can be channeled properly. Next, column reinforcement work. At this stage, there are several things that must be considered, such as checking the number of diameter of vertical ropes, the distance between columns, and the height. All aspects must be considered based on the picture. After that, column formwork. Formwork must be strong and sturdy enough to withstand the pressure of the fresh concrete being poured. Formwork must be properly designed and installed in order to maintain column position during placement and prevent unwanted tilting or shifting. The last one is pouring of concrete. In the final stage, namely channeling the concrete into the mold. To make it easier to work on distributing concrete, you can use a mixed concrete truck and a concrete pump. Next, beam. Beam is a structural component that helps transmit loads from plates to columns. Beam is a horizontal structural member. Beam serves to support the wall and prevent excessive load on the concrete slab. The beam is used to strengthen the column, and there is a distribution of bending forces in the beam and column. It is necessary to calculate the load borne by the beam, such as bending force, shear force, and others, so that it can determine the dimensions, length, width, and size of the beam. There are 4 steps to make a beam. The first one is formwork. To properly support concrete, formwork or centering and covering is required. Next, bending and blinding. Steel bars concrete is assumed to have good compressive strength but weak tensile strength when designing slabs. Steel bars are positioned to strengthen the structure against tensile stresses. Next, placing of cement concrete machine. Mixed concrete is usually used to fill blocks with less concrete volume. The last one is curing. In the final stage, it must be treated for 28 days to reach full strength. Next, slab. A slab is a structural member used to build practically flat surfaces such as floors, roofs, and ceilings. Slabs generally have a horizontal shape and have top and bottom surfaces that are parallel or close together. The procedure are formwork. Formwork shall be properly placed, coated, and leveled on the side. Next, bending and binding steel bars when designing slabs. It is assumed that concrete has good compressive strength but is weak in tensile strength. To make the structure resistant to tensile stress, steel reinforcement is arranged. After that, positioning of steel bars by designing the plate based on the plate load and span. The diameter and spacing of the steel reinforcement in the RCC plate is calculated according to the plate span length. 12mm, 10mm, and 8mm diameter steel bar are used in RCC plates. Next, placement of cement and concrete. To solve the problem with the steel bars, arrange the walkways by placing wooden plates on them. The cement concrete mix must now be deposited according to design, but must not be placed in a 1:4 ratio. The mixture must be mechanically mixed and vibrated before being applied to the slab. Next, walls. Walls serve as barriers between rooms or as buttress structures that support loads from floors, roofs, and other structural elements. The process are reinforcement placement. If the wall is smaller than 100mm, then the reinforcement is installed in one layer, and if the wall thickness is larger than 200mm, then 2 layers should be placed. The specified steel reinforcement sizes, spacing, and concrete cover shall be provided with the highest possible accuracy. Reinforcement roots are placed on the tension side of the wall. Next, formwork of concrete wall. Concrete wall formwork refers to temporary structures or forms used to form and support wet concrete until the concrete has hardened and attained sufficient strength. It is an essential part of the construction process for creating concrete walls of all shapes and sizes. Construction joints in concrete walls are areas where 2 segments of concrete walls are connected together. This connection is required during construction. On the connection part of the construction must be made rough for a suitable bond between the old and new concrete. Next, concrete production. Concrete production involves the process of mixing certain ingredients such as cement, aggregate, water, and others to create a strong and durable concrete mix. After that, pouring concrete. Pour concrete is the process of making pre-mixed concrete mixed into pre-prepared formwork or forms. Removal of formwork. At this stage, once the concrete has sufficient hardened, the next step in construction is the dismantling of the molds used when pouring the concrete. Next, curing. Concrete wall. Once the concrete has been poured and the formwork removed, it is important to perform proper maintenance to ensure the concrete hardens and develops optimal strength. The last one is roof. The roof protects passengers from rain, snow, and sunlight. It addresses air leakage, water vapor condensation, and heat or cool installation. After framing is finished, the roofing system is built and installed to protect it. Steep and low slope roofs are the main types. According to our case study, the roofing system for this construction project is RC flat roof, which is reinforcement concrete flat roof. The procedure are preparation of concrete step is same step as in situ concrete. After the early finishing of the concrete is complete, allow the concrete to begin to cure. The concrete surface will be evenly coated with the curing chemicals. Next, when the concrete has finished drying and reached the required strength, a layer of cement screed will be poured. Ensure that the cement screw covering the concrete deck dries completely. Next, waterproofing layer should be applied to the reinforced concrete slab. Extra over the waterproofing layer, apply the cement screed. When the cement screed has dried, the other required finishes will be applied over.
My name is MOHAIRI AMRIL bin Mohamed. Now I will talk about finishes. Finishes are important in the construction of building because they improve a structure utility and longevity, while also enhancing its visual appeal. Finishes provide a structure, the finishing touch that make it come to life. Whatever it be, the wall paint, the flooring, or the decorative component, including wall, floor, and roof finishes. Wall finishes installation procedure: plastering, coat, mortar filling 1/4 cement and sand. From 15 mm up to 20 mm will be applied on surface. A rust surface is used to finish the external wall plaster. Grooves are made in between the beam and column, and block work for outside to avoid cracks. Floor finish are crucial component of building design since they not only add to a space visual appeal but also offer functionality, durability, and comfort for occupants. The choice of floor finish depends on variety of elements, including the intended use of the space, maintenance needs, financial limitation, and aesthetic preferences. Floor finish include a wide range of material treatment applied to the floor surface. Installation of floor finish procedure. Before laying tiles, prepare your floor by removing any adhesive, mortar, and etc. Level the surface to flat by filling any low spot and cracks in the concrete floor with concrete patching compound. Make sure that the floor is clean, dry, and level evenly. Based on the site visit, we observed that type roof for City of Dream building is RC flat roof. Flat roof are popular choice for modern architecture. For City of Dream building, a variety of material used for flat roof finishes, including asphalt, concrete, EPDM, PVC, and TPO. Roof finishing installing procedure. A concrete slab flat roof is normally made up of a structural layer of concrete finish with a smooth screed onto which a waterproof layer such as a membrane is laid. The roof should incorporate insulation and usually a vapor control layer to protect from interstitial condensation.
For the conclusion, the City of Dreams project in Penang has a lot of potential to positively impact the local economy and the tourism industry. The success of this project will depend on factors including effective infrastructure planning, environmental sustainability, cultural preservation, and community engagement. For the project to be successful in the long run, it will need to be regularly monitored and adapted to changing circumstances. Despite this, we remain upbeat and believe that the City of Dreams will positively affect how our country grows.